Basically इसमें what we can we all see the introduction? Can everyone see?
Yes.
Okay. So, see, children are said to be the future citizens of the nation. Therefore, जो education बच्चों को दी जाती है, वो determine करेगी कि country का future कैसा होगा. So, जो भी country की aims हैं, वो वही education से ही achieve होएंगी कि जो country की vision है, जो ideals है कि country ने क्या आगे करना है, that will be achieved only through aims of education. इसमें एक case study मैंने जो present कर रही हूँ आपको, ये देखिए एक पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं. ये ग्रीस के दो स्टेट्स थे, स्पार्टा और एथेंस. तो इनका जब हम कंपैरेटिव स्टडी करते हैं तो ये दोनों सिटी स्टेट्स थे ग्रीस के, और ग्रीस में जो लाइक पुरानी सिविलाइजेशंस थी वहां बहुत बैटल्स वगैरह होते रहते थे. तो स्पार्टा की जो पॉलिसी थी, इट्स पॉलिसी वाज दैट कि बच्चों को शुरू से ही वॉरियर्स बनने के लिए ट्रेन की जाए. So the purpose of education in Sparta was to produce and maintain a powerful army. So throughout the young years of children, boys and also girls, they were required to become good warriors. They were taught boxing, swimming, wrestling, discus throwing. Even girls were trained to become warriors. Reading and writing were considered as secondary skills. On the other hand, Athens का क्या motive था कि उनको national aspirations उनकी अलग थी. Once it had become strong in military power, now it chose that its education will focus on art, science, culture and morality. As a result of all this education policy, we can see in the present scenario that Sparta, although Athens was defeated by Sparta because Sparta had a strong army, but in today's date, nobody knows about Sparta. Everybody knows of Athens as a prosperous area from where a number of poets, mathematicians, scholars and historians have emerged. You must have heard of Euclid, Pythagoras. They were all from Greece, from Athens. So, अब उसका एजुकेशन सिस्टम क्यों फेल हुआ, उसकी अलग ही बहुत सारे रीजंस हैं कि उन्होंने लॉन्ग टर्म मोरालिटी पे फोकस नहीं किया. बट व्हाट आई मीन टू स्ट्रेस हियर इज कि जो एम्स जो कंट्री की होती हैं, नेशनल एस्पिरेशंस होती हैं, उसको अचीव करने का एजुकेशन इज द ओनली एंड द मोस्ट इफेक्टिव मीडियम. Now let's talk of the Indian context. We all know that after centuries of subjugation, we achieved independence on 15th August 1947. At that time, the vision of leaders of our India, they had a lot of visions for India. They wanted India to be a democratic republic, secular republic. So the Constitution of India was framed in accordance with the goals, national aspirations of India. ये हम सब जानते हैं. This is the preamble of India, Constitution of India. हमारी सभी एनसीईआरटी बुक्स में फर्स्ट पेज पे प्रीएम्बल बना होता है. सुजाता, यू देयर? सो हेलो एम आई ऑडिबल?
Yes, Archana, continue. कोई बात नहीं.
Constitution of India, it resolved India to become a sovereign democratic republic, जहां पर ये चीजें बहुत सबको मिलेंगी. Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. We all know the meanings of these words, but I'll quickly take you through these. Sovereignty means complete independence hogi without any foreign influence or interference. Socialist means the means of production will be owned by the public and not by private individuals. Secular means the country will not favor any particular religion and no discrimination will be made on the basis of any religion. Democratic means the government will be elected by the people, of the people and for the people. Republic means the head of state will be elected by the people and will not be a king or monarch. So these were the national aspirations. In context of these aspirations, we can categorize them into different categories like social aspirations. They defined how our society will be based on equality, liberty, economic justice and fraternity. Political aspirations क्या थी? That rule होगा of the people, by the people, for the people. It will be decentralized. We will have 2 levels of government, rather 3 levels. We have central government, state government and local government. All citizens will have social, political and economic justice. Equal voting rights होंगी सबके लिए. Economic aspirations में क्या था? That there will be no exploitation of people and there will be decentralization of means of production so that everybody has equal opportunity to do any kind of business, to follow any profession, to buy or sell anything, and there will be equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Religious aspirations क्या थी? That India will be a secular state. There will be no state religion. Like, as we know, there are many Islamic countries today where the Islam is the state religion. As opposed to that, India always aspired to be a secular country. There is freedom to each individual to practice their religion, but at the same time, nobody can force anybody to follow their religion. There is liberty to choose any religion, then there will be no discrimination anywhere on the basis of religion. These were the religious aspirations. Now you would very well understand that to realize all these aspirations, जो भी हमारा nation envision कर रहा है, to make them all true, the only means is that we educate our children in the manner that they will be able to realize all those aspirations. Now, what our leaders had envisioned and what is the current scenario? Although India has come a long way from the colonialism age, and today it is a world power. Everybody knows, from defense to agriculture, from fashion, technology, science, economics, software development, even vaccines production in today's age. We are producing our own vaccines. So India has made tremendous progress, and it is a superpower in the developing world. There's no doubt about it. But on the flip side, we are also faced with many challenges like increasing population, inequalities in distribution of income, widening gap between the rich and poor, pollution, there is erosion of family values, corruption. Political parties, they are working for their own political gains instead of public welfare. And overall, there is a lack of nationalistic feelings and national pride in our country, which is also resulting in brain drain. A lot of our engineers, doctors, they go out to seek a better future for themselves instead of serving their own country. Because there is somewhere in our education system, we are not able to instill a spirit of nationalism in our children. So today, as a country, our country has the following aspirations also: to develop feelings of nationalism and pride in our nation and our culture, to preserve family values and preserve a strong social order, ensure distribution of resources equally among all people, ensure equal education access to all, job opportunities for all, respect for the rule of law, and strict punishment for antisocial activities. And secondly, we have seen in the past various communal riots in the name of religion. So, as a nation, the country's aspiration is to view religion as a personal domain, that you do worship follow any faith in your home and use religion as a means to spirituality, not as a divisive force. At the same time, when we are talking of being nation lovers, we have to develop a global outlook in this age of universalization, and we have to go back to our own old ideal of Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam, means the whole earth is one family. So as a nation, we have all these aspirations. What is the role of education in realizing all these aspirations into reality? These become the aims of our education. And to realize all this is the broad educational goals, we can call it: to provide free and compulsory education to all, to invest in universal and adult education, to provide education that will ensure the development of secular and democratic outlook, then to provide education that develop feelings of social and economic justice, to develop means of making education accessible to everybody, even to weaker sections, tribal areas, to inculcate social values through group activities, and inculcate the feeling of nationalism through our contents in our books and also through the pedagogies, through the process that we teachers imbibe these values in children, to develop a broad and global outlook, to develop scientific temper, to develop the capacity to adjust to whatever circumstances there are in the light of what skills the child acquires during education, and to overall make our children ready for 21st century, to be future ready. As we all know, these are few 21st century skills that have been identified: critical thinking, communication skills, creativity, problem solving, collaboration, information literacy, technology skills, digital literacy, media literacy, social awareness, civic literacy, social responsibility, innovation. So we have to, in a way, prepare our children for these values and these skills. Now, how do we do that? We frame our curriculum in accordance with these goals of education, and we develop a pedagogy for different stages of education to realize all these goals. It has been very rightly observed that without the knowledge of aims, education will be like a sailor who does not know what is destination and where the sailor is headed for, and the child will be like a rudderless vessel which will be drifted along somewhere ashore, कि जहाँ पे waves आ रही हैं वहीं पर आप चल गए without knowing what your goal is. So as the new education policy has proposed, now how will we transform all those national aspirations into aims of education, and then how will we achieve all these aims of education? That will be what our latest new education policy has proposed, NEP 2020. As you can see, these are the aims. The highlighted portion is the aims which our government wants our education system to do for achieving the aims of education in the direction of national aspirations. So as you can see, it is education is fundamental for achieving human potential and promote national development, for scientific advancement, national integration, culture preservation, and secondly, instilling knowledge of India and its rich culture and ethics is considered critical for the purpose of national pride, self-confidence, self-knowledge, cooperation and integration. Next, how will we do it? Universal high-quality education is the best way forward for developing and maximizing our country's resources and talent, the society, the country and the world. As we can foresee, over the next decade, India will have the highest population of young people in the world. And our ability to provide high-quality educational opportunities to them will definitely determine what kind of future India will have. So the new education policy strives towards the fulfillment of all these aspirations through curriculum design at the school and university education level both. Some measures which are suggested are, first of all, it is targeting towards early childhood care and education. And so there is a well-drawn pedagogical framework for children up to the age of 8. Then there is strengthening of professional educational institutions, adult education and lifelong learning. Then there is a stress on promotion of Indian languages, arts and culture. As many of us who are teaching in schools who have taught in schools or teaching in schools would be aware, from the last year there is an initiative called Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. What is there in this? Like every state is given a twin state. Now the twin state of Haryana is Telangana. So what we are doing in our curriculum is we are integrating the culture of Telangana in our activities. In Hindi activities, in SST activities, we are teaching our children about Telangana. Similarly, Telangana is teaching about Haryana. So, twin states have been formed. Delhi has been paired with Sikkim. Sikkim has been paired with Delhi. So, in this manner, the children of one state are learning about culture, history, and languages, arts of the other state. So, in a way, promoting whatever Indian culture is, and knowing about India as a whole, which will in due course of time develop pride in our country and our culture. The next step is technology use and integration. Now, we all know that because of COVID and the forced lockdown and all, we have already switched over to technological mode of education, which NEP had envisioned. So, in a way, it has been done to a major extent in all metro cities and big urban areas, not so much in rural areas as of now. So the next measure that we can say is online and digital education, which will ensure equitable use of technology and imparting life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. So in a way, inculcating all 21st century skills in our children. At the same time, the curriculum content has been reduced to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. The next step which is envisioned is that art and sports have been integrated into each subject. So there is a growing emphasis that instead of taking art as a separate subject, we should integrate into various subjects. And all this will empower children in their choice and choice of course options and choice of careers later in life. There is curricular integration, there is multilingualism, there is a growing emphasis that the primary education should be given in the mother tongue of the child. So every state will have this option of imparting education to children in their own mother tongue. So that the basics of every subject are clear to the child in a more comprehensive and effective manner. Then professional standards and continued professional development of teachers. As M.Ed students, this is a very important point for us, that maybe going further, some of us choose to be teachers to B.Ed students. So there this aspect comes into play, that how we help to transform the aspirations of our country, and we become an agent of realizing all those aspirations of our country in preparing our teachers to actually deliver those aims which the country aims. There will be strict standards and continuous professional development of teachers, and autonomy to teachers to choose and develop innovative teaching pedagogies. To conclude, and I'll quote from NEP only, that education system is the foundation of a vibrant democratic society, and the way it is run must be transformed and invigorated in order to achieve the highest levels of education outcomes for the nation. And the vision of all this is to make India lead research and innovation in the 21st century as a strong and enlightened knowledge society, and one of the 3 largest economies in the world. This is our vision. We see ourselves among the 3 largest economies in the world. And to make this vision come true, we teachers have a great role to play. The transformation of national aspirations into educational goals or aims of education depends a lot upon teachers, how they implement the curriculum, what pedagogies they adopt for different stages of education. Thank you so much. These are the references that I have used in my assignment, various websites, and the Lakshmi Publications book on educational studies. Thanks a lot. That's it.